Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the biggest celebrity moments that shake the world of entertainment. Today, we're talking about what might just be the most explosive live television incident in recent memory. Picture this: the bright lights of the Today Show studio, the familiar orange couch, the smiling faces of millions tuning in from their kitchens across America, and then, in an instant, everything flips. Kelly Clarkson, the powerhouse vocalist, the original American Idol champion, the woman who's built an empire on her raw talent and relatable charm, steps onto that iconic set as a guest. She's there to chat with co-host Craig Melvin, a seasoned journalist known for his smooth delivery and thoughtful questions. The segment starts innocently in a small talk about her latest album, her talk show success, maybe a quick mention of her kids and how she's balancing it all. The audience is loving it, laughing at her signature self-deprecating humor, applauding her openness. But beneath the surface, tension is brewing. Craig, perhaps trying to dig a little deeper than the usual fluffy promo questions, brings up something personal. It could have been about her past marriage, her divorce fallout, or even a subtle jab at her emotional songwriting that some fans see as therapy sessions turned into hits. Kelly's smile tightens just a fraction, but she keeps going, answering with grace. Then comes the turning point: one comment from Craig, delivered casually but landing like a grenade. He questions her resilience in the spotlight, maybe implying that her public vulnerability is more calculated than genuine, or perhaps he references an old tabloid rumor in a way that feels accusatory rather than curious. The studio air changes instantly. You can almost hear the collective gasp from the live audience as Kelly's eyes flash with that unmistakable mix of hurt and fury. She doesn't yell right away. No, Kelly Clarkson is too professional for that. Instead, her voice drops, sharp and controlled, firing back with a pointed response that cuts through the morning cheer like a knife. The exchange escalates rapidly. Words fly, interruptions happen, and what was supposed to be a feel-good interview turns into a battle of wills. Craig tries to steer it back, but Kelly is done playing nice. Her face flushes, her hands gesture emphatically, and the camera catches every second of the rising storm. This isn't just a disagreement, it's a clash of personalities, egos, and unspoken boundaries being crossed on live national television. The producers in the control room must have been scrambling, signals flying, but there's no cutting away from this train wreck. Viewers at home are frozen, phones already out recording their screens, because they know they're witnessing history. Kelly's famous warmth evaporates, replaced by a steely determination that reminds everyone she's not just a singer, she's a fighter who's been through hell and come out swinging. The argument builds, layer by layer, each retort more intense than the last, until finally, she reaches her breaking point. With the audience holding its breath and Craig looking stunned, Kelly makes the ultimate power move. And just like that, the moment arrives that sends shockwaves through the industry. Kelly Clarkson, mid-sentence, stops talking. The silence is deafening. She looks directly at Craig Melvin, her expression a perfect storm of disappointment and resolve, then slowly reaches up and unclips her microphone, the very symbol of her presence on that stage. The tiny click echoes like thunder in the suddenly hushed studio. Without another word, she stands up from the famous orange couch, smooths her outfit with deliberate calm, and turns toward the exit. The camera follows her in disbelief as she walks off the set, her heels clicking against the floor in a rhythm that screams finality. Craig is left sitting there, mouth slightly open, trying to process what just happened while the audience erupts into a mix of gasps, murmurs, and scattered applause from those who feel she just stood up for herself. The control room cuts to commercial faster than anyone can blink, but the damage is done. The clip is already spreading like wildfire across social media. Within minutes, #Kelly walks off and #Today Show drama are trending worldwide. People are dissecting every second of the build-up. What exactly did Craig say? Was it planned or spontaneous? Did Kelly overreact, or was this the culmination of years of media scrutiny finally boiling over? Fans flood the comments defending their queen, calling her brave for refusing to be disrespected, while others side with Craig, saying he was just doing his job as a journalist pushing for real answers. Meanwhile, on X and TikTok, reaction videos explode, people pausing and zooming in on facial expressions, lip-reading the heated words, creating slow-motion edits of the walk-off that rack up millions of views overnight. Kelly's team stays silent at first, no official statement, which only fuels the speculation. Was this a genuine emotional reaction, or a carefully orchestrated moment to generate buzz for her next project? Some conspiracy theorists even suggest it was staged for ratings, pointing to how perfectly dramatic it all looked. But those who followed Kelly's career know better. Her authenticity is her trademark, and when she feels cornered, she doesn't back down. Back in the studio after the break, Craig tries to recover, offering a brief apology or explanation, but it's clear he's rattled. The rest of the show feels off balance, the usual light-hearted segments falling flat after such intensity. News outlets pick up the story immediately, headlines screaming Kelly Clarkson storms off today after fiery argument with Craig Melvin. Clips are replayed endlessly on entertainment shows, with pundits debating the ethics of live interviews, the pressure on celebrities to remain composed, and whether this marks a shift in how morning shows handle personal topics. Kelly, meanwhile, disappears from public view for the rest of the day, letting the moment speak for itself. Her silence is powerful, forcing everyone to reflect on what happened. This wasn't just a walk-off, it was a statement, a declaration that even America's sweetheart has limits, and when those limits are pushed, she will walk away rather than compromise her dignity. The internet keeps buzzing, memes start appearing, fan art depicts her as a warrior queen striding off into the sunset, and the debate rages on about who was truly in the wrong. As the hours turn into days following the incident, the fallout grows bigger than anyone could have predicted. Kelly Clarkson returns to her own talk show set in Los Angeles, but she doesn't address the Today Show drama right away. Instead, she opens her episode with her trademark humor, cracking a joke about morning coffee being too strong sometimes, which gets a huge laugh from her audience but leaves everyone wondering if she's subtly shading the situation. Behind the scenes, sources close to her whisper that she felt genuinely blindsided by Craig's line of questioning, that it touched on sensitive topics she'd made clear were off-limits before the interview. Craig Melvin, for his part, appears on the next Today broadcast looking composed but visibly shaken. He offers a measured statement, saying something along the lines of live television can be unpredictable, and I regret if any words came across as disrespectful and my intention was never to upset anyone. But the apology feels incomplete to many fans, who point out he never directly addressed what he said. Social media splits into camps. Team Kelly praises her for having boundaries and walking away with class, while others argue that as a public figure, she should expect tough questions and that storming off was unprofessional. Celebrity friends weigh in subtly, as some like Pink post cryptic stories about standing up for yourself, while others stay neutral to avoid the drama. Tabloids run wild with exaggerated stories, claiming everything from secret feuds to pre-existing tension between the two stars. One outlet even suggests Craig's comment was about Kelly's weight loss journey, implying she was too focused on image, which ignites a whole new wave of body positivity discussions. Kelly's streams and album sales spiked dramatically in the aftermath, proving once again that controversy often equals career boost in Hollywood. She releases a new single shortly after, with lyrics that fans swear are inspired by the incidental lines about not staying where I'm not wanted and walking out with my head high. The music video drops, and it's full of powerful imagery of her striding confidently away from bright lights, mirroring the walk-off perfectly. Meanwhile, NBC and the Today Show producers hold internal meetings, reviewing interview protocols and guest boundaries to prevent future meltdowns. Craig takes a brief break from the desk, rumored to be spending time with family while the heat dies down. The moment becomes a case study in media classes, analyzing how live TV can amplify emotions and how one off-script remark can change everything. Years from now, people will still reference the Kelly walk-off as a benchmark for celebrity authenticity versus media intrusion. It sparks broader conversations about mental health in the spotlight, how women in entertainment are often pushed to be endlessly agreeable, and the fine line between journalism and sensationalism. Kelly emerges stronger, her fanbase more loyal than ever, proving that sometimes the most powerful response is to simply refuse to participate. Diving deeper into the actual words exchanged during those fateful minutes reveals even more layers to this unforgettable clash. From the moment Kelly sat down, the vibe was warm, with Craig complimenting her latest hit, asking about her creative process, the usual feel-good stuff that morning shows thrive on. Then he pivots, saying something like, "You've been so open about your struggles, but do you ever worry that sharing so much makes people see you as fragile instead of strong?" It's a question that could be interpreted as probing or as judgmental, depending on tone. Kelly responds thoughtfully at first, explaining how vulnerability is her strength, how it's helped millions connect with her music. But Craig presses, perhaps following up with, "Some might say it's calculated, thought turning pain into profit." That line, whether he meant it or not, hits a nerve. Kelly's posture changes instantly, her smile fades, and she counters sharply, "I've never calculated a single tear on stage, Craig. That's not who I am." The back and forth intensifies, Craig defending his role as interviewer, Kelly asserting her right to privacy. Voices rise, the audience shifts uncomfortably, and the energy crackles with real emotion. It's not screaming, it's intense, passionate disagreement that feels authentic rather than scripted. When Kelly finally says, "I'm not here for this," and begins removing her mic, it's like watching a dam break. The walk-off isn't dramatic flailing, it's dignified, purposeful, almost regal. She doesn't look back, doesn't give the cameras extra time to capture tears. She simply leaves, reclaiming her power in the most direct way possible. Post-incident analysis videos slow down the footage, highlighting micro-expressions, Craig's brief look of regret, Kelly's clenched jaw, the producer's frantic gestures off-camera. The clip becomes viral gold, remixed with dramatic music, reaction cams, and even parodies on late-night shows. Late-night hosts like Jimmy Fallon joke about it, saying, "If Kelly Clarkson walks off your show, you know you messed up big time." It inspires think pieces in major publications about the evolution of celebrity interviews in the social media age, where every word is recorded and dissected forever. Kelly's supporters launch online campaigns showing solidarity, sharing stories of their own moments standing up to disrespect. The incident even influences other celebrities, who start setting firmer boundaries in their own appearances. In the end, what started as a routine guest spot becomes a defining cultural moment, one woman's refusal to be diminished on live TV, broadcast to the world. It reminds everyone that behind the glamour, stars are human, with limits that deserve respect. Months later, the echoes of that fiery morning still resonate through pop culture. Kelly Clarkson never fully recaps the event on her own platform, choosing instead to let actions speak louder than words. She pours her energy into new music, tours, and her talk show, where she creates a space that's warm, inclusive, and free of judgment, the opposite of what she experienced that day. Fans notice subtle shifts, more emphasis on self-care segments, more open discussions about mental boundaries, and a quiet strength that feels earned. Craig Melvin continues co-hosting Today, but there's a noticeable change in his approach. Questions are softer, more respectful, especially with female guests. He occasionally references the importance of reading the room in interviews, without directly naming the incident. NBC reportedly reviews all guest protocols, adding more pre-interview consultations to avoid similar surprises. The clip itself lives on eternally online, resurfacing every few months whenever a new celebrity controversy erupts, with people commenting, "This is giving Kelly Clarkson walk-off vibes." It becomes shorthand for standing up for yourself in high-pressure situations. Industry insiders speculate that Kelly's bold move actually earned her more respect behind the scene, as the producers now tread more carefully when booking her, and other hosts cite her as an example of graceful power. Her career not only survives the drama but thrives, with sold-out arenas and chart-topping releases proving that authenticity, even when messy, resonates deeply with audiences. The argument highlights larger issues in media: the pressure on women to remain likable, the blurred lines between personal and public, and the consequences when those lines are crossed. Kelly becomes a symbol for many, proof that walking away isn't weakness, it's strength. Supporters create fan edits, compilations of her most empowering moments juxtaposed with the walk-off, turning the incident into an anthem of self-respect. Even years down the line, when people look back on 2025's biggest moments, this one stands out not for destruction, but for empowerment. It shows that sometimes, the most powerful statement isn't shouting back, it's quietly, confidently, walking out the door. In conclusion, the story of Kelly Clarkson storming off the Today Show after her fiery argument with Craig Melvin isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a powerful reminder of human limits in the unrelenting spotlight of fame. What began as a standard morning interview spiraled into a raw display of emotion, boundaries, and self-respect that captivated the world. From the initial tension, through the escalating words, to that unforgettable moment when she removed her mic and left the set, every second was charged with authenticity. The aftermath rippled outward, boosting her music, sparking conversations about media ethics, and inspiring countless people to prioritize their own dignity. Whether you side with Kelly for refusing to be pushed or believe Craig was just doing his job, one thing is undeniable: this moment changed the game. It proved that even the most beloved stars can reach a breaking point, and when they do, the world watches. Kelly emerged not diminished, but elevated, as stronger, more respected, and more relatable than ever. Her walk-off wasn't an end, it was a beginning, a declaration that she controls her narrative, her space, and her peace. And in a world obsessed with perfection, that kind of raw honesty is revolutionary. So next time you're watching a live interview, remember this story, because you never know when the next mic might drop, the next walk might happen, and the next legend might rise from the ashes of a single heated moment. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Hit that like button if you're Team Kelly, subscribe for more breakdowns of iconic celebrity moments, and let me know in the comments what you think really happened that day. Until next time, stay real, stay strong, and never be afraid to walk away when you need to.